I'm starting to suspect that everyone is lonely. Come do some laundry with me. I'm going to be folding some clothes today while we discuss loneliness. And I want to start with a story right out of law school, okay? My first year of law school, I made so many friends. Well, a few friends. I'm not necessarily known for having lots and lots of friends, but I made some friends. And I would get invited to go to gatherings. Sometimes I declined because I learned that as much as I love hanging out with law students, I like to hang out with them for certain periods of time. Because if you know a lawyer or you know a law student, there's a very particular sense of humor or conversation topics that seem to just reoccur. And sometimes you get a little tired of that. So I was happy with my friendships that I was building my first year of law school. I was having a very positive experience. And then I came back after my first year summer, ready to really dig into some of the other programs law school had to offer besides just my academic courses. And that's not uncommon for your second year of law school. A lot of people are doing what we call co curriculars, which are just additional learning experiences, but are not necessarily part of your class load. And so as I was doing these co-curriculars, I was doing my coursework, a lot of my time was taken. Understandably so, my friends also were busy. And the person I considered my closest friend, she also was dating someone new, and her time was very, very limited. And so I found myself not getting invited to things with her. Not that she was going to be in all these group activities, but we didn't even have one on one time together, right? And as for the groups that I used to hang out with, I stopped being invited to them. I don't know if it was because I was so busy and I turned them down too many times, but I quickly realized I had no friends. And I felt extremely lonely. I felt lonely because law school is hard and I wanted to share that with somebody. I felt lonely that nobody was inviting me to anything, of course. And I also felt lonely because I wondered if I was doing the right things in my life. I was wondering if I was in the right place, if I was talking to the right people. And I felt like I was the only one struggling with this. So many of my classmates were confident about what they wanted to do with their careers. A lot of them seemed like they had a great focus and motivation in everything that they were doing. And I was focused on, pursuing my own interests, which sometimes felt different with what my classmates wanted to do, who were looking for more traditional routes in the law. And I was looking for a more public interest, public service route in the law. So I found myself lonely. And my second year of law school was tough because of that. I really was engaged with my coursework. I got to know some of my professors. And so there was a lot of positive things that came out of it. But I left lonely. The summer after my second year, I went to a summer program with a really tight knit group of law students. And we really got close. We had a lot of fun. We hung out a lot outside of work, and there was six of us, and we just had a blast. Had a group message, and to this day people still message in that group message. And so that was a really great thing to come out of that second year where I was feeling lonely. And it also helped me just feel more confident about what I was doing, because those were also like-minded people who were doing public interest type work. I felt more confident going back and knowing that I was on the right path and that I was doing the right thing. I felt really energized by that summer experience. I went into my third year and I worked so hard. And towards the end of my third year, I was talking to one of my classmates, and I was telling her, yeah, I last year was rough. I was feeling pretty lonely, and she was surprised. She was like, I didn't know you were feeling lonely. I She told me I struggled so much because I was one on the lower side of grades, and I felt like I wanted to do family law, and people kind of looked down on family law as a, not an academic or a, a more rigorous, field of law. And I felt really isolated and I felt really lonely. And I realized We were all lonely together. We were all alone together. And I think about that sometimes when I'm starting to feel down on myself and wondering if I'm the only one in the world like me, especially as I've entered this phase of motherhood, which has been difficult. I love my kids, but I don't relate to a lot of things that I read or hear about moms. And so I ask myself, am I the only person like this? And I have to remind myself, no, there's other people that are feeling the same things as you. And we're all feeling lonely together, and a lot of times it goes unsaid. I just wanted to make this video as a reminder that when you're feeling lonely, that there's someone else feeling lonely too. And I hope that we can open our eyes and look around and find those people. So take this video as a sign that right now, instead of continuing to scroll, instead of looking for another video to watch, to just pull out your phone about someone you haven't and think about someone you hadn't thought about in a while. Shoot them a text message, shoot them a Facebook message or an Instagram message or in any form of a Snapchat, whatever you use to send messages. And just tell them you're thinking of them and help them know that they're not alone. Because I think that if we do that, we can change the world. That was a big statement, but I'm going to stand by it. I think we can change the world by helping people feel less alone. I hope you liked this video. If you enjoyed it, give me a like, give me a subscribe. And I'd love to hear in the comments your experience texting somebody, your experience. Come back to this video and write that experience. I want to know. I'll see you next time.